Hello, this is Dan Richardson, Chapel of the North Hills. In the third episode of the Spider-Man saga, we had our hero, that's Peter Parker, pitted against three villains. The second of these opponents represented a very sad story. That was Peter's best friend, Harry Osborn. This friendship thrived even though their backgrounds were very different. While Peter was an orphan from a poor family, Harry was the son of Norman Osborn, a wealthy CEO. We may remember that Harry's father had become the Green Goblin. In a final showdown with Spider-Man, Harry's father accidentally killed himself with his own flying machine. As a personal request, Norman asked Peter not to tell Harry that he had become the evil Green Goblin. So, as Peter, in his Spider-Man suit, was returning the body of Norman to his bedroom, Harry walked in and saw Spider-Man next to his dead father. Harry then assumed that Spider-Man had killed his father. Peter did not divulge his secret, which would affect Harry's memory of his father. So, Harry carried a grudge against Spider-Man, and his anger led him to become the second Green Goblin. He even learned to operate the flying machine that his father had used. His anger only increased after he found out that this archenemy, Spider-Man, was actually his best friend, Peter Parker. This entire situation was based on a misunderstanding. Harry just didn't have all the information. Sometimes we get mad at other people, or even at God, without knowing all the information. We make an assumption from our limited perspective, and we end up carrying grudges and damaging relationships. We don't understand a problem, or when we cannot explain the suffering experience, what we have to do is we have to trust the things that we do know. We do know that God totally loves us. And we do know that God knows everything, including the future. Yogi Berra said, "It's really tough to make predictions, especially about the future." Well, the Bible offers us an example of just this situation through the life of Joseph. Joseph experienced many years of suffering, first at the hand of his brothers who sold him into slavery, and then through his masters in Egypt who had eventually thrown him into prison. Well, he could have carried a grudge when he could have retaliated when later he had the opportunity to have his brothers killed. Instead, he recognized God had the entire situation under control, and it was God's way that eventually saved the entire country. He told his brothers, "You planned evil against me, but God planned it for good to bring about the present result, the survival of many people." That's in Genesis 50, verse 20. So let's not make bad assumptions and let our anger control us. Instead, let's remember that God knows everything that there is to know, and He loves us too much to hurt us. Be blessed.